What's up, guys? Today is June 25th, 2021, and welcome back to another NBA News and Analytic commentary episode. And today we're going to be taking a look at Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals that took place in Staples Center in Los Angeles between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Clippers were able to win Game 3 at home by more than 10 points. They won in double digits, and they have made this a 2-1 series in favor of the Phoenix Suns. They were up 2-0 beforehand, obviously. And Chris Paul did return tonight, except both Devin Booker, who had to wear a mask because he broke his nose whenever he collided with Patrick Beverley in Game 2, and Chris Paul both shot under 30%, which is something that I don't believe you're going to see again. I believe the mask negatively affected Devin Booker, and CP3 being gone definitely didn't help him. And I still will give credit to this Clippers team because it seems like every single time Tyronn Lue in this Los Angeles Clippers franchise is down in the playoffs, especially when they're down 2-0, they're just unbeatable. I mean, they show so much adversity, and this is just a completely different team compared to last year's Los Angeles Clippers, who choked a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals in the bubble. Now, this was the first game ever hosted at Staples Center that was a Western Conference final for the Los Angeles Clippers. Now, there were some for the Lakers, obviously, because they're like the gods of the NBA. But the first home Western Conference Finals game in franchise history for the Clippers was a win, which means it was their first win in a conference finals history. So a big accomplishment for them. Now, Game 4 will be on Saturday, so tomorrow, and it will also be in Los Angeles as the Clippers look to take a 2-2 lead heading back to Game 5 in Phoenix, while the Suns look to take a 3-1 lead and take control of the series, because most likely if you take a 3-1 lead, you'll win the series. Now, this Clippers team, I love what they've been doing. They've gone down 2-0 every single series this playoffs. First series against the Mavericks, the second series against the Jazz, and the third series against, obviously, the Phoenix Suns. But I love what this Clippers team has done in the face of adversity, and it is just super awesome to see a team that usually is joked about, especially a player like Paul George, and see him come and ball out. He made a half-court shot before the end of a quarter, and it's just awesome to see players like that perform to the level that they should be playing at, if not better than they traditionally play in a scenario like this. And honestly, the Clippers are just one DeAndre Ayton alley-oop away from having 2-1 series lead, and a Game 4 at home. And I feel like that speaks volumes about this Clippers team and how close this series really is compared to on paper. You could just say, oh, the Clippers won a game, cool. Did you really think they were going to go down 3-0? No, I didn't think they'd go down 3-0. But still, you know what's funny to me is the Suns and 4 guy can't say that anymore. People are editing emojis of a high five to show 5 fingers, and then they're putting it over the Suns and 4 guy to say that it's Suns and 5. And to me, that's hilarious. I love the joke like that. But these Suns fans need to be less violent, especially towards the opposing fans, because even though I don't feel like it was the Suns and 4 guy's fault, he was just defending himself. But the man who beat up at the end of Game 1, the man who beat up a Los Angeles Clippers fan simply because he was a Clippers fan and was constantly saying Suns and 4, you know, he was just baiting him to try to get into a fight, and I don't stand for that. And although I'm rooting for the Phoenix Suns, I don't show any personal bias towards them in these videos, and I do not support that from the fans. But it is only one fans. They have a great fan base. All of the fan bases that are left in the playoffs, in my opinion, are great. And it was just a very good game. I was very entertained by this game, and it was a great storyline. Jay Crowder didn't make a single shot in Game 2. He came out and he was 2 for 3 from three-point range at not even halfway through the first quarter. That was pretty cool as well. And the second thing we're going to be getting into is the COLLIN Sexton saga in Cleveland. Now, a player like Kevin Love, who doesn't want to play for the organization anymore, is losing his love for the game of basketball, and is tired of the losing, is calling out COLLIN Sexton for what he says is holding the ball for too long and not passing it. Now, he's on a team that doesn't have a lot of pieces. Darius Garland's promising. Isaac Okoro gets injured a lot, except it's only his rookie year. He still shows promise, and we had Andre Drummond until eventually he was released and signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. But I believe that Collin Sexton will not be traded from the Cavs because there are rumors such as the post by NBA Central on Twitter, which is a valid source that's trying to claim that the Cavs are open to trade offers about Collin Sexton. And if they trade away Collin Sexton, I don't care if he holds the ball a lot and if he doesn't pass the ball a lot, because the pieces around him are still young and developing and not very great. But if you look at it from a statistical standpoint, Darius Garland had the ball 3 times more often than Collin Sexton, and he's not getting called a ball hog. So I really just feel like it's because Sexton's a great player, and Kevin Love is mad at that because he's constantly injured and he doesn't want to play for the Cavaliers anymore, and honestly regrets signing the contract extension. But if the Cavaliers trade Collin Sexton, that is a very stupid move for their franchise. I don't care if it's for the number 1 overall pick from Detroit to get Cade Cunningham or well, you would assume Cade Cunningham, but you don't know what Cade Cunningham's ceiling can be, and you know, because Collin Sexton has NBA experience, what his ceiling can be. And odds are they're probably going to have very similar careers, except Sexton is already used to your system, and he's already just balling out every single night, dropping 20, 30, even sometimes 40 points, almost 50 points a game. And that's just something that I love to see, and that's very promising for the Cavs' future, because you know he loves Cleveland. I mean, you can just tell whenever he steps into the arena that he is ready to play for his city and for his teammates, and I respect him for that. The young bull, Collin Sexton, that's what people call him. That's his nickname on Twitter and also a lot around the NBA. So I don't think he'll be traded, but just the simple fact that the Cavaliers most likely are listening to trade offers for Collin Sexton is very concerning, because they're a rebuilding franchise. They have the number 3 overall pick, and they need to get good young players, and hopefully the majority of them love Cleveland and want to stay in there. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Collin Sexton will be traded? And drop a like if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already and you enjoy my content, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Peace.